Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching my videos. If you're familiar with the archetype we've hit upon this time, please let us know in the comments section. I might not have researched it well enough, but I couldn't figure out the archetype. The highlight of this time is that both parties succeed in real estate investment and become landlords, but the real estate bubble bursts, leading to a nerve-wracking flow until they manage to sell off their properties. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. The link to the deck list explanation video is in the description below. Please take a look if you're interested. It looks like I'm going to get landlocked, so I'm going to mulligan. I'll keep, because it seems like I can organize my hand with draw sources. Since it's not an early hand, I'll send the Chrome Mox, which doesn't do anything by itself, to the bottom. I'm going to search for a land. Stack Tendrils of Agony, Lion's Eye Diamond, then Island, in that order, and draw. I'll check the current situation, being cautious of days. I've removed Force of Will. I'm going to search for a tutor. Couldn't find it, so I'll shuffle. I'm going to search for a tutor. I've stacked Polluted Delta, followed by Boseiju, who endures. Since my draws aren't looking great, I'll be cutting Show and Tell from the deck. I've stacked Water Lily Petals, followed by Duress. The effect of Surveil is to leave it on top of the library. The effect of Atraxa, Grand Unifier, is to add Swamp, Show and Tell, Force of Will, and Reanimate to your hand. I've removed Force of Will. I went to cast Veil of Summer and was shocked when I looked at my lands, lol. Business as usual today, lol. The adventure ended here. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list I used. First, the conclusion. I would like to explain step by step. Since I wasn't clear on my opponent's archetype this time, here are the ins and outs I actually used. While reviewing the video, I found a better sideboard strategy, which I will introduce. The cards in my opponent's deck that seem relevant to me are these. First, there are hand disruption cards, starting with Thoughtseize. For hand disruption cards, I counter with draw sources like Veil of Summer, Ponder, and Brainstorm. After my key cards are taken by the opponent's hand disruption, I will use draw sources to search for them. Next are hard counters like Force of Will, Force of Negation, and Stifle. I'll counter these with Flusterstorm. Unlike pure Reanimate decks, this one includes Stifle. Daze and Wasteland are not included. Since the opponent is not employing a mana denial strategy, the value of basic lands decreases. Therefore, I will remove the basic lands. The opponent's basic winning strategy involves fishing out fatties using tools like Reanimate, Animate Dead, and Shallow Grave. By casting Dress Down, I can neutralize the triggers of the fatties against the opponent's reanimation spells. There is also the advantage that, even if the opponent doesn't play any cards, it can still be used as a 2-mana cantrip at worst. Due to the abundance of Reanimate in the meta, the reanimation tools in the environment have shifted from Exhume to Animate Dead. Therefore, by stacking the trigger of Animate Dead's effect and activating Boseiju, who endures, it is possible to circumvent it. Truthfully, I want to keep as many copies of Chrome Mox as possible for speed, but since there are no other candidates for siding out, I'll make adjustments here. Boseiju, who endures, serves as a countermeasure against Reanimator strategies, but since the opponent is running Show and Tell in their main deck, it becomes a one-of out. Beseech the Mirror tends to get caught up in graveyard hate, so reduce the number of copies and swap it for cards with higher impact. It's a bit weak, but I'll keep it since it has draw, lands, and disruption. I'll look for either mana acceleration or disruption cards. I've stacked Polluted Delta followed by Ponder. I'll search for disruption cards. Couldn't find any, so I'll shuffle. The effect of Surveil leaves the top of the library as is. The opponent draws without shuffling after Ponder. I'll check the opponent's hand with a discard spell. The hand contained 3 Force of Will and 1 Flusterstorm, totaling 4 counterspells. Honestly, I don't want to decrease the number of cards in my hand as the opponent's hand size is increasing, but it would be pointless if I lose, so I'll cast Tormod's Crypt. Considering the possibility of accidentally putting Tendrils of Agony on top, I won't reduce my hand size by imprinting. I seize the moment of my opponent's brief lapse to deliver a game-changing strike. I'll increase the mana necessary for the combo. To complete the final piece, I'll search for Tendrils of Agony with Ponder. My thoughts did not reach, but Past in Flames turned up for me. Even with Past in Flames, I can draw out 2 counters, so I decided to draw it. I'll initiate with Beseech the Mirror to bait the opponent's counters. I'll combine it with Flusterstorm. The opponent preemptively cast Surgical Extraction, but even if it targeted my Past in Flames and hit it with Force of Will, if the turn comes back to me, I can search for Beseech the Mirror with Infernal Tutor, pass through the graveyard, and combo out for the win. Since I lack enough ritual-based mana acceleration in the graveyard, I'll search for a ritual card. I'll go for the combo by going through the graveyard. While accelerating my mana, I also generate Storm Count. Just to be safe, I'll prepare for Stifle. Having accumulated enough Storm Count, I will cast Tendrils of Agony. Even if it leaves me with 6 cards, I'll mulligan for the chance of a stronger hand. Using Beseech the Mirror effectively results in a double mulligan due to its additional cost, so I'll put it on the bottom. I've stacked Polluted Delta followed by Lotus Petal. I'll check the distance between myself and my opponent. I've taken Forcible out of my opponent's hand. Surveil effects send cards to the graveyard. The opponent draws without shuffling from Ponder deck. I'll search for disruption cards. Couldn't find it, so I'll shuffle. From here, I'm going all in. I'll increase the mana needed for the combo. By initiating with Beseech the Mirror, even if the opponent has a hard counter, you can handle it by searching 4 Past in Flames from Infernal Tutor on the next turn. I'll go through the graveyard to combo. I'll accelerate mana while also building up Storm count. Having accumulated enough Storm count, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the frequent play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you in the next one. This has been ANT-ya.